sou espalhagod. Chairman.
Phase 5.
Okay, sure. Councillors, while we are waiting other parties, let me have an urgent discussion with the whips of parties in the front here. Councillor Reddy, please. Councillors, we are starting now. Councillors, thank you very much. You are now back from your caucuses. I will then request the report to council from 3 people. I will start with Councillor Reddy, then I will come to the EFF, then I will come to the ANC to give us a report back on the outcome of their caucuses. Councillor Reddy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of the bloc of smaller parties, we had the opportunity to discuss this matter. We just believe that in terms of the rules, it's not proper. Whatever procedures we followed, I don't want to go into details with that unless members would want me to, but we don't believe this is even an urgent meeting. It should have been called a special meeting. Furthermore, we believe as smaller parties we've not been caucused. The procedure, not caucused, we should have had a briefing from yourself. This did not take place. As a result of that, we are proposing that this meeting be suspended and that the proceedings come to an end and that it be called at a later date when the items are adequately discussed on EXCO, because the rules makes provision that whenever a person wishes to come and address the council and they make the request to yourself, you need to consult with the mayor. And of course, the reason why you need to consult with the mayor is because he is the chair of the executive committee. Chair of the executive committee means that political parties that are here, at least those that have representation on executive committee, that they will be privy to the discussions that will come to the council meeting. The meeting with the parties, the party whips and yourself, gives us the opportunity to be able to discuss these items before they come to the council meeting. So there's no such thing as surprise items that come to us. And I want to conclude by saying this: we are a sphere of government. We're not a tier of government. Whether it's provincial or national government, we are a sphere in line with those governments. And if they are here, whether it's the MEC or DG or anything like that, I want to send a loud and clear message to you that we are a sphere of government. You cannot talk down to us. Let's be clear about that, Speaker. So our proposal is that the meeting be suspended. I thank you.
Thank you very much, EFF.
Thank you very much, Speaker. As an EFF, want to share the same sentiment as Visvin Reddy has alluded, but also we want to put it clear that norms and standards of this council must be followed every time. And we've just been briefed that ESCO was not even briefed about this meeting. There are no terms of references, there are no report whatsoever. So we believe that if the MEC, even if it's urgent, but they must brief the ESCO first, and then the report come to parties, and then we process, and then it bring to council. That has been always been followed. So that's what we are saying, Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, ANC.
Siyabonga Somlomo, cha sizwakalisa umuzwa ofanayo lama parties asebekile ngaphambili, kodwa ukuthi okuhlukile ukuthi ke sifuna ukuthola ithuba lokuthi uma ngabe ukhona lo mbiko sikwazi ukubona siuxoxe ukuze sazi ukuthi ipi position esokwazi ukuyithatha. Njengamanje ngoba sinayo iposition, we cannot continue. Siyabonga.
Thank you, councillors. I hear you. Let me respond to points raised. I first got the correspondence from COGTA about the request to come and to address council on Sunday late in the evening at 8 o'clock. They were requesting to come on Tuesday to address council. I then said, because we've got an ordinary council meeting on Wednesday, I suggest you come on Wednesday. I will accommodate you to that, to address council. They said, no, Wednesday is not suitable for us. We want to come on Tuesday. Then there was a long issue, a discussion between myself and the team from COGTA. Then I then said to them, I can convene a special meeting for you next week to come and deal with your issues, because I've got other issues that forced me to convene a council meeting. Then COGTA said, this announcement should be made before Friday. That was their response. Then while we were here on Thursday in a council meeting, around about 4:30, I received an email with an attachment with a letter from MEC requesting that I should convene this meeting today at 10 o'clock. They are coming to present Section 154, the support they want to render to our municipality. I then suggested to the team that in my conversation with COGTA from Sunday, I've been trying to advise you that why don't you meet the executive committee first? Present your issue, present the terms of reference, ESCO discuss your presentation, then council will be convened after we have presented to ESCO, so that the report comes in a form of a report to council, trying to explain the norm, the practice, that how we run council. But there was a strong view that this meeting must be convened today because it's a cabinet decision. But besides being a cabinet decision, there was also a perception that was developing that personally as a speaker, I'm refusing or I'm running away from 154. If I explain our processes that we follow, if we deal with any item, now it seems as if I am the person now who don't want this 154 to be tabled. I'm running away with Section 154. I then said, after all my explanation, still there is a feeling that the matter must be tabled to council today. Then I will allow the MEC to come and address council. Then council will make a decision, so that tomorrow, as an individual, I won't be blamed for running away or for preventing the MEC to come and address council. I wanted to explain that why we find ourselves here, not because I was not aware of the processes. I was aware, and I explained those processes to more than 3 people from COGTA that I was engaging with, but they felt strongly that they want to come today. Hence, I said I will give them a chance to come and address you. But I understand your concern. I understand all the issues you are raising. I think from the side of the speaker, if that is a view supported by the majority of council, I have no reason to refuse for the meeting to be suspended. I have no problem with that. If it's a feeling from all the parties, I will suspend the meeting because it's a majority view. But I can see there are other hands. Before I take those hands, I can see Councillor Pili, because there were other issues that were not tabled in council or discussed in council on Wednesday. When I was convening this meeting, I then said, we are going to use this day to deal with other issues that were outstanding in our agenda on Wednesday, and other 2 in committee report that were also outstanding, because I thought that because we are here, let's use this opportunity to deal with other matters instead of convening another special meeting in the next few days. Those were the reasons why I felt that I need to include those items in our agenda. Let me take hands from Councillor. That will start from Councillor Pili, then I will go to Councillor Kuala, then the Slengwa, then Van Reyden, in that order.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Good morning to you and good morning to all the councillors and the MEC if she's here, and any member of the provincial legislature who's here, Honorable Martin Mayor. Speaker, as the DA, obviously we are quite concerned if there are processes which were not followed or are said to not have been followed in calling this meeting. If it means that it had to go through to EXCO, I think that we must be able, Speaker, to be guided by our rules of council, but more so by the legislation which governs our meetings and what is the MEC intending to do here. I think this is really an opportunity for our legal person to show some sort of guidance in as far as this, because what we don't want to do is to be guided by emotions on how the MEC should have done her work in terms of the intervention, which is said to be what she was going to announce today. So I would want us, Speaker, to perhaps get a legal opinion or view and not simply rely on emotions, because if this has been how the interventions have been done in other municipalities, whether it's Section 154 or any form of intervention, then one would have to look at the precedents, whether the MEC made it or was guided or directed by law to first engage the EXCO, because I think that is what is seemingly wanting to be done here, that the MEC had some sort of an obligation to first engage EXCO on such an important issue, which many residents of the city are relying on. As the DA, it's something that we've been calling for very fiercely, that we do need some sort of intervention, and if it comes in this manner, and because of unclear expectation that it was supposed to first go to the EXCO, I think that must be guided by law. It can't just be guided by emotions and the expectations of the ANC and its alliances. That's my input, Speaker.
Thank you.
I would like for us to get a legal guidance on whether this should be go ahead in as far as the law and precedents. Thanks, Chair.
Councillor Nxumalo, then Kuala, Farouk, then Slengwa. Nxumalo?
No, thank you very much, Speaker. Mhlawumbe umuntu Speaker ufisa ukudlulisa lokhu ukuthi as much as le item ka MEC isi withdrawiwe futhi sifisa ukudlulisa nje njenge IFP ukuthi one, Speaker, siyaqonda ukuthi uma kuzoconvenwa imihlangano ekanje kuba nama expenses okufanele akhokhwe, of which is a taxpayers money. Okwesibili ke Speaker ukuthi uma kuukuthi uMEC useyafisa ukubuya azosethulela lomthetho noma lesi sigatshana, sifisa ke ukuthi ke kungabi nje kuphela umhlangano ozimela wodwa before kuzoba necouncil, ngoba okusho ukuthi kufanele kube khona futhi indleko ezimela yena yedwa before kuzoba futhi nezinye indleko ze-council. Ngamanye amagama ke sifisa ukuthi ke uma ke lo mhlangano usuzohlala akube umhlangano okungcono ozongena kuma items e-council. Okwesine ukuthi ke Speaker kumfanele ukuthi aqolisele lokhu ukuthi sifike la sizohlala, ngoba sihlalela sazofaka lama items kodwa siwafaka ngaphansi kwe-item yakhe, ngoba ukube yena ubengezukuza ngabe le council ayizange zihlale. Ngithokoza kakhulu.
Thank you very much. Councillor Kuala.
Somlomo sibonga yona iyakhalisa ke le ngoba sirani irregular expenditure manje, kodwa siyafisa ukuthi le eshiwo iDA yokuthi mhlambe above yonke lento esikhulunyiwe nama views nama point of views siyithola ukuthi mhlambe ulegal yena ngathini ngoba ukushayisa amaphutha avela kubantu ngale kwabantu amaphutha wekho kodwa ke futhi si-IFP siyajabula nje ukuthi ibambe ngakho isiqalekiso somdlokombane sesihleli phekwa inqole emasonto sonke.
Councillor Farouk. Ubheka.
Thank you, Speaker.
Then Hlengwa will follow.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, as Action SA, we are worried. I've listened to the views of the other colleagues, especially when it comes to the expenses of this meeting. The issue that we are raising as Action SA is that, Speaker, you called this meeting. Was it necessary or unnecessary for the Speaker to check with legal? Because I heard some of our colleagues saying the legal must give us advice. But if that was done before this meeting is called, we wouldn't been wasting the taxpayers' money. Because you can see this meeting, which is ophela, Speaker. So, ileyo advise mhlambe noma into i-comment esifuna ukuyizwa ukuthi before kubizwe lama meeting ulegal was involved in kunokuthi sisehleli la sekuwaste imali mase connectiwa ke sizwe ulegal ukuthi uthini. Thank you.
Councillor Hlengwa, I will allow Njomane to respond to the request made by parties. Our legal head will speak. Hlengwa?
Ngibonge Speaker, ngibingelele indlela yonke. Speaker, umuntu ufisa ukuthi uyayimukela explanation yakho nge-decision oyithathile yokuthi ubize umhlangano so that ungazobonakala njengomuntu oblocka u-MEC ukuthi azobonana ne-council. However, Speaker, angicabangi ukuthi kumqondo right ukuthi when we under pressure we forget the rules or how things supposed to be done. And ngiyafisa uvumelana nozakwethu uvis umethi thina we are a sphere of government. Njengoba uhulumeni wasekhaya uhulumeni ozimele okwazi ukuthatha ama decisions on ama procedures awo bekufanele silandele wona ke Speaker. Okungikhalisa kakhulu ukuthi we have wasted imali ye public taxpayers money. Ngiyafisa ukuthi ngingabi personal la Speaker ngoba akukona ukwenza kwakho. I pressure uyithole from ukhokta and ukhokta uhulumeni we province engicabanga ukuthi kufanele uhulumeni we province akakhave indleko zanamhlanje kungabi indleko zethu ngoba phela akuthina esi undermine ama rules nama procedures okuhlanganisa umhlangano. Ngiyakuncoma Speaker ukuthi ukwazi ukulalela zonke inhlangothi. Bengicela ukuthi kube umphako lo ukuthi thina as African people first uhulumeni we province yaKwaZulu Natal lezi indleko zanamhlanje zakhe azikwazi ukuphuma kulo masipala wethu ngoba kusasa ithina esiyosolwa yiwo futhi lo hulumeni nge-wasteful expenditure. So umhlonishwa akahamba abatshele emuva ukuthi siyayidinga le mali. Siyabonga.
Siyabonga, Councillor.
Speaker, from the Freedom Front Plus point, we're not privy to the information why this meeting was called. We just got a message to say that the MEC wants to address council. Now, the only way to do that is to call a meeting for everybody to be here. So I don't think we should figure out what it is, give the MEC an opportunity to address council, and take it from there. However, that said, the special meeting, whether it's urgent or a special meeting, the previous meeting was a special meeting, and you called it as an urgent meeting. On our previous special meeting, the items that was laid on the table, that we got privy to again here, was laid on the table because it was urgent. Hence the reference you call the urgent meeting today. So can we finish and not waste taxpayers' money more and continue finishing our urgent stuff that we had to do on the previous special meeting? Thank you.
Thank you. Jomane, over to you. No. No. Jomane?
Thank you, Babu Speaker. Under the circumstances that the Office of the Speaker was operating in, I was consulted last night, or rather yesterday afternoon, about this meeting. The initial idea was to call an urgent meeting because of the notice that is applicable. If we are calling an urgent meeting, you can call it a 24 hours notice, 12 hours notice. But I raised the concern that is similar to the one that was raised by Councillor Reddy, to the effect that if you are convening a meeting for the purposes of giving an opportunity to a special guest to address council, it has to be a special meeting, and a special council meeting requires about 72 hours notice. But on receiving the explanation and the pressure that they were operating under, I then suggested that the urgent meeting can be called if there are matters that are urgent and cannot be held over until the next council meeting. And if they were of the view that some of the matters that were deferred at Wednesday's meeting were matters of that nature, then the meeting could be convened for the purpose, urgent meeting could be convened for the purposes of transacting those issues, but in the process accommodate the MEC. And I think that is the advice that they followed, and the meeting is convened as an urgent meeting to deal with our urgent matters and accommodate the MEC. In so doing, we would have, in a way, complied with the rules, but at the same time, accommodated the pressure that was being placed on the Speaker's office. On the other question of whether it's appropriate for the address to come directly to council without going through the EXCO. In a collective executive committee system like ours, the vast majority of the items have to be processed by the executive committee, and the executive committee submits the report with recommendations to council. And that is supported, if you look at section 44(4), it says an executive committee must report to council on all decisions taken by the committee. Kuma Rules of Order, Rule 14(1) says all reports of EXCO to council must be as contemplated in 44(4), which requires the executive to report to council on all decisions taken by the committee. But having said that, there are other items that come directly to council, so it depends on the substance of the matter. For instance, a report of MPEC or a report of ethics, because those are committees of council, they are not committees of EXCO. Their reports do not go via the executive committee. If AG maybe wants to address the council, sometimes AG comes here and addresses the council. So there would be those exceptions. Probably in the assessment of the Speaker's office, this would have been one of those issues that fall within those exceptions. However, I accept a feeling or the general feeling within the meeting that it would have been prudent for UKOKTA to meet with the executive committee, and then the executive committee exercises its discretion, prepare a report with recommendations, and maybe they then get invited to address a meeting when the leadership already knows what the issue is about. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you very much, Jomane. Let me address COGTA to come to the podium. Any official from COGTA? Let's allow them to come. They are coming.
To come and do what now? Point of order, Speaker. Point of order, Speaker.
Speaker,
Yes,
we just dealt with the issue of COGTA and,
Yes,
and they are
it seems you're not listening to us.
of just coming and just jumping in this council without following due processes. What is it that they are going to do now?
I'm calling them to come and withdraw their item.
Yeah, they don't have to.
Don't have, you don't want to come to address, no, that's fine.
They have to. They don't have to.
And
You
okay.
can't, Speaker, you can't allow people who
I understand that you don't want them to come to the podium. I'm clear with that. Thank you very much.
Speaker.
No, listen, the item number 1, that we're intending to discuss, that item is being withdrawn in the agenda, it won't be discussed here. COGTA had to meet with the executive committee first, present the item, then council will be advised after COGTA meeting. That is done, that is
Speaker,
done.
on a point of order.
Yes, Councillor Nxumalo?
No, thank you very much, Speaker. No, Speaker, angithi umhlonishwa ubemenywe uSpeaker ukuthi aze lapha.
Yes.
Ngakho ke Speaker ke le council isivumile ukuthi le item ya withdraw. Ngakho ke Speaker angiboni ukuthi sikhona isidingo sokuthi angeza lapha ukuthi azos address.
Nxumalo mfethu, selishilo nje vele. I've already ruled on that ukuthi issue of COGTA is done because there's a concern. The matter will be tabled to the executive committee first before it comes to council. Nyambos.
Thank you, Speaker.
Order, councillors, order.
Thank you. Now that you've ruled, maybe it should be important that you put this on record, because the main purpose of this meeting was for COGTA to address us. Any other issue would have been secondary. Now, who's going to bear the cost of this sitting for today? Because really, it can't be this council.
Order.